Oh. Hi, everyone. Sabrina Maurice here, coming to you live from down under in New Zealand. So kia ora. I'm so excited to have the beautiful Jillian Aurora here with us. It really is a privilege to have you here because I've been following you for the past year, and you're just such a dynamic woman and a leader of living unapologetically. And we'll go into that more, but tell me a little bit, and the audience a little bit, about yourself and how you've gotten to the point as you are as a leader today.
Oh man, that's a long history, but the short version is, I grew up just small town Idaho girl. I
Mm,
was homeschooled, came from a really, really extreme religious background, which
mm,
now I understand set me up for a really codependent existence in relationships, both romantic and professional and friendships. And,
wow.
and so I got a really tough course. I say I have a master's degree or PhD in codependency.
Yeah,
And so I also picked a career in social work and was there for 13 years.
still a long time.
Yeah, I gave a lot of my life to that. And that was really just perpetuating also that codependent pattern. So
Yeah.
I had some really painful experiences that
Mhm.
happened because I kept giving so much of myself. So I had
Yeah.
some really big lessons there. And that brought me to my unapologetic journey. That
Mm.
brought me to killing my good girl
Okay.
and launching the program Unapologetic, where good girls go to die.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm really excited for you to actually share, like, what are a couple signs that you're in a codependent relationship? I think that would be a great place to start because a lot of times I don't know that everybody's even aware that they're in one.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I would say some really big signs would be you're tired. Um, if you're tired and you're exhausted, usually you're giving a lot of yourself
Mm,
to
yeah.
something or someone, right? And
Yeah.
another really big flag that a lot of us miss
Yeah.
is resentment.
Oh, okay.
And I really believe that resentment has been given such a bad rap.
Mm,
Resentment is a beautiful intuitive sign that something is out of alignment. And we often try to pray it away, write it away,
yeah.
talk it away. We suppress it and we make it bad and wrong instead of listening to it and saying, why am I resentful? Our
Mm.
resentment is actually trying to serve us and point us in the direction of deeper self love.
Oh, I love this. Serve as a sign. I'm totally taking notes of deeper self-love. Okay. So you obviously help women as this unapologetic coach to live where they are taking care of themselves first, essentially, and not making themselves a martyr by being on the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah, I have found one of the things in society right now, well, for a while, is that moms, and I correct me, I don't think you're a mom, right?
I'm not.
Yeah, but I've got 7. I've got 5 and then 2 bonus kids, and so that's a lot. And one of the beliefs I've never subscribed to is like, well, I've gotta put this first and this kid's need first and this one and this one. And I've never subscribed to that because I've always believed, and I go back to the mask on yourself, like the oxygen mask that comes down on the plane. We have to have it on ourselves first. And if we're neglecting ourselves, realistically our kids are neglected. So this whole martyr idea really is a disservice to all of us, literally everybody in society, because these kids grow up with that. And I know it's from a place of love, but it's like a confused love, I feel.
Yeah, I think that motherhood is a huge piece that's really difficult to overcome because of so much of the programming. In fact, I'm doing a really quick workshop at the end of the month called "Choose You, Mom," and
Mm, very cool.
I've got several women who they break out of a toxic relationship or a marriage, and they really crave freedom, and they have these big desires, and then they also carry this guilt because they think they need to prioritize their children over their dreams, and it's this like constant friction.
Yeah.
And um and so really like offering a safe place to work that out, and then giving permission to women. Like, I mean, they get to give themselves permission, but to actually hear other women say, yeah, it's actually better for your children to
Yeah.
grow up with a mom that they see like meeting her needs and being unashamed of her needs and being
100%.
unashamed of her desires, unapologetic of her desires, those things will actually be life changing for those children.
Yeah, 100%. Like my kids, because I do communicate when I've hit my max. I call like I'm at my max level of like noise, whatever, over sensory. And I'll just say, hey, I'm just gonna like go lay down. And it's not an avoidance thing, it's just an honoring. Like I'm honoring my body and my ability, capacity to manage the levels of noise that happen with as many kids as I have. And so it goes back to like honoring and communicating that with the kids empowers them to be able to communicate effectively themselves, but also know that their needs matter. Like, that when they become a parent, that they're not going to perpetuate the cycle, that they're going to be like, okay, well, I have this need and I'm going to honor it. So yeah, thank you for doing your work that you're doing with women. When is the Choose You Mom workshop?
That's the 29th. I
And
think that's Monday.
okay, and so you'll drop the link because is there still room for people to join?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So drop the link
Okay.
in the chat not in the chat, in the post that I make on Facebook, because I'm going to be sharing this to Facebook. So let's see what else. Okay, so that was your first one, or second, you had two, tired and exhausted, which I find is interesting because I was like, oh yeah, when I get really tired and exhausted feeling, I'm like, how am I overdoing it? I do have to take that as a sign to like pause and take a step back. So tired and resentment. What's your third sign of codependency issues?
Um, I think just the feeling that your needs are on the back burner.
Mm,
Like, when is it going to be my turn? And I don't know if there's a good word for that, but that feeling I think is very consistent with women. Like, when is it going to be my turn? Or I'll do it later, right?
mm,
Um, right now, I can't do that. I can't afford to invest in me. I can't spend time on me. I can't do self-care right now because XYZ. Somebody else has a crisis. I have these children at home.
yeah.
There's always some reason or justification why I can't take care of me.
Yeah. And I really think the When's It My Turn should be the name of your next book. I don't know if you've even written a book, but it should be the name of your book for this codependency. Like you need to write one. I don't know if you're in the works of it, but get it
I'll add it to the
going.
list of books right now.
Oh, I feel you. I have a couple. I'm having the same thing. I keep getting like all these downloads, and I'm like, dude, hold on, pause. I'm like trying to finish the one.
I get
So,
so caught up in writing articles. I'm at like 300 articles at this
oh
point.
my goodness. Okay, so where are your articles posted?
On my blog. So if you
Cool.
go to jillianaurora.com/unapologetic conversations.
Ooh, love it. Okay, that's a lot. So make sure that you put that in there as well because I want to check it out.
For sure.
All right. So that is the signs. Now moving on, when you've realized you're in a codependent relationship, what's the plan? Like, because it's not necessarily easy to just be like, okay, I just realized I'm in like the worst situation. I need to figure it out and bye. Like, there's still it's literally like a link, like there's a tie that you have to figure out how to break, right? So what are your tips there for the women who are at awareness, but like, what's the next step?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to say, before I get into those steps, is just it's a really foggy journey.
Mhm.
It's um it's
Yeah.
a really difficult thing to awaken to, and it can take a long time. And by long time, sometimes I mean years.
Yeah.
I was in Al-Anon for 8 years, which is
Mhm.
it's the sister program to AA,
Yeah.
and it's for friends and family members of addicts and alcoholics. And that was a particular path that I chose,
Mhm.
to be in relationship with addicts and alcoholics.
Yeah.
And it took me 8 years to finally get to the point that I realized that self-care for me and really practicing my self-worth was raising my standards and actually not holding space to have people in my life that were really toxic for me.
Mhm.
So I just want to say, like, be gentle with yourself. This isn't like oh, I know all the steps now and I got it. Like, you can know all the things and it's still going to be a painful, long journey. And
Mhm.
that's okay. That's really
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And, I even went back. I'm one of the women that went back. I left and went back.
Yeah.
So which the average woman leaves 7 times before she
What?
leaves the final time.
I just got goosies from that. That's crazy. 7 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that it's just really worth stating, because there's a lot of shame in that. There's a lot of judgment around, why didn't you just leave? And how could you put up with all that? And there's a million reasons why, and
Mhm.
there's not enough time to
There's
get
a lot of
into all.
psychology behind it. And yeah, there's so much.
And so much programming, so much ancestral programming. Um,
Yeah.
I actually birthed my next course based on the programming. It's, the patriarchal programming, which, that's kind of the phase 2 after you've left and you've really collected yourself. And a lot of women never get to the point where we can really look at that, because it's very painful. It's very painful to look at how being an empowered woman in the past has cost us our lives in really basic ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and is that the next program you were mentioning is the unapologetic?
No, so unapologetic will run through the 3 main things to become an
Mm,
unapologetic woman. But warrior goddess is the next, like, it's the patriarchal programming, and like
oh,
really digging into why did we develop this
yeah.
codependency? It's the why.
Cool. Okay. I love it. So a couple things that you touched on was, women, it takes sometimes 7 times, most times
Mhm.
before they leave. And then it was about practicing self-worth and self-care and raising your standards to take out that toxicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can say for myself, like with my own relationship, and learning about the codependency that I've dealt with, because we've been together for almost 15 years. And actually it was this past December that I was like, I'm done. Like I'm like, this is my standard. And if you're unable or unwilling to like raise to the standard, I'm actually like out. Like I can't do this anymore. And like he for the first time like moved out of the room. He was in his own room. And currently, yes, we are together. So I'm one of those ones that like went back, but in a way that was honoring for me, I feel, because of the fact that he did raise, like, even if now he like the raising of his voice, it's not acceptable in my space because it's too much for my system. And he knows that. And we play more now, we laugh more. I didn't have to physically leave, but I energetically ended it in a way that was like, I'm unavailable for any of this bullshit, basically. Like, you get to be a kind, calm, caring person, as well as obviously me reciprocating that. But yeah, it's a journey for
I
sure.
love that. And I think it's peeling away all the layers, and it's not, there isn't one right answer for everyone. Some women, they don't leave and they don't need to leave.
Yeah.
And at the time that I didn't leave, that was the right choice for me then.
Mhm.
And then when I went back, that was still the right choice for me then. That was still part of my
Yes.
journey. And so I think we really, really get to leave the judgment behind, and not only for ourselves, but for other women.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the judgment-free decision making, because like nobody knows what anybody's journey's been, or what happens behind closed doors, and like all the shifts that happen within the marriage, within each individual person, right? So it's really cool, because I have a couple people already that are coming to mind that I'm like, they need your course, like must do ASAP. So I'm really excited for the work that you're doing. Thank you for doing your part in the world. I really am a believer that, us light workers are shining bright for a reason, and we're shining even brighter now because there's so much going on in the world, and people like you and me and everybody else is doing the light work is really raising that frequency and supporting other women and men and their children, and really generations is the point, right? Where we
Yeah.
don't have wounded toxic masculine and feminine. It's like healing that as a whole. So is there anything else you wanted to share before we popped off?
Yeah, so so yeah, I did want to share, I totally got sidetracked, but the 3 things
Oh
that
yeah. Cool.
make a woman, and I'll totally, yeah, I'll breeze
Cool.
through these. But what honors you honors everyone. That was a really massive key for me. So letting go of the idea that loving myself was selfish and it actually was serving other people. The more that I honor me, the more that I honor everyone.
Yeah.
So that was a first really big key for me. The second one was deprogramming the idea that unconditional love meant unconditional loyalty. Meant that I like had to that my presence was unconditional. My presence is not unconditional. My love is unconditional, but that doesn't entitle you to my space.
I love that.
That was a really, really big key for me. I can love someone and I can still let them go. I can still say, you know, I don't feel comfortable or I don't feel in alignment with sharing space with you.
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. Thank you. And the third one?
The third one is that one yes will require 1,000 no's.
Okay. Explain that one.
Okay, so if I choose me, if I choose my path, that is going to require me to say no to thousands of other things. So if I choose that I want to have only a healthy relationship, I will say no to thousands of other unhealthy relationships.
Beautiful. Oh, wow. I feel like anybody who's watching this, like you've got to join into the unapologetic group that you have right on Facebook, checking out your articles that are on your website, as well as if it's calling to you, choose you, mom. And then I love that it's like the good girl is being killed off. Like no more self-betrayal, no more codependency. And there's so much value in this. So thank you so much. Is anything else before we go?
That's it. That was really loaded. But yeah.
Yeah, it really was. It was like, oh my goodness. Yes. Honor thyself, deprogram. I really liked the deprogram from that unconditional love equals like you get my time. Like, no, actually I can love you and we don't have to be sharing space.
Yes.
So liberating. So, all right. If you guys have any thoughts or questions, reach out to Jillian Aurora. We're going to make sure the links are in the comments, and love you. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Guys.